Hi, welcome to the Red Booth Show. Tonight's episode features Jim Meskimen. He's an amazing actor that can do so many impressions, it'll blow your mind. So check it out. Well, hello, Jim.
Hey, Kimberly, how are you?
I'm doing good. How
Thanks
are you?
for having me.
Thank you so much for joining me.
Closer look at those nails.
Oh,
very nice.
Yes, thank you. Well, I just wanted to tell you that I think that your new show, The Impression Guys, is really, really cool.
Thank you. Well, we're very happy to be doing it. It's this is the time where everybody has a TV series. It used to be in the old days, everybody had a business card. And the first guy that had a business card, I think, everyone went, "What is that? Let me see that. Let me check that out. Come here, look at this. Look at it. What is this called? It's called a business card. Business card. It's got your name, your address." And then of course, everybody had business cards. Now it's like web series. I got a web series. Remember? It was like, a what? What's a web series? And now it's like everybody. We all have web series. This is like, yeah, of course, a web series. We don't have time to watch all these things, but it's great to have one. And we're trying to make ours as nice as we can, so I'm glad you like it.
I do. I think it's amazing. Did you actually produce it as well?
I did not.
Okay.
No, I'm not a producer, but I do my own stuff. But no, Rainn Wilson, who's from The Office.
Cool.
Who I've met twice. He has a company called Soul Pancake, which is a YouTube channel, very good one, that has a lot of positive themed videos and amusing stuff and really wild creative stuff. And so he's the producer, although he's not the hands-on producer. And,
right.
But anyway, his company produces it. So.
Okay, cool.
But the real guy, the real genius behind it is a guy named Ben Shelton. And he is the writer-director, and he's just terrific. And I met him, and he and Ross Marquand and I got together, and that's how we created the show. But he wrote it.
He did?
Yeah.
I totally thought that, that could be like something that you almost could have written, because you're so funny and you do like also a lot of comedy stuff.
Well, thank you. It's very kind. Well, it turns out there's another really brilliant guy, and that's Ben Shelton. So,
well, that's great.
No, what was great about it is that he really understands TV, and he makes tons of little short films, and he's got a crack crew of people that are really fast and really effective and make a great show. He's been doing this other series called The Flip Side, and so he had invited me to be on that series. And when I saw that he had worked with Ross Marquand as well, and I know Ross, and I knew he was a really gifted impressionist, I sort of pitched it to Ben, hey, maybe there's something that the three of us could do together. And he just went off and wrote this thing. And we were like, oh. And then Soul Pancake said, we'll pay for it. And it just keeps moving along in nice little positive bursts. So I figure the more I keep out of it, the better in a lot of ways. Just as far as the producing is concerned. I need to keep in it as an actor, but out of it as a producer.
Well, it's definitely coming out really well.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We have 7 more episodes coming. There's 6 on now at the Soul Pancake channel. It's a hard-to-find series. And so I invite your viewers to try and find The Impression Guys. Go ahead. Just try. It's not going to be easy. But when you find it, you'll be very excited, I think. But it's like it's a little treasure that you have to discover. Because we're on Soul Pancake, but you have to dig because they have so much content. They
do. They're really actually a big provider of content right now.
Mm-hmm.
That's really cool that you're on that channel.
Thank you. How do you feel about the content, like being called
content?
Being referred to as content?
It sounds kind of
like
weird when you say it that way.
Yeah, it's like someone said female. How do you feel about that? Warm and fuzzy? Not so much. Content, I don't know. It's like Leonardo da Vinci had so much great content. Isn't... Will there be a big coffee table book? Content of the 20th century. Let's see this. Look at this content.
That's true. It's true. It's all very artistic creations.
Yeah. But that's how it is. I mean, it's a commodity now, and everybody's making a lot of noise. I don't know where it's going. My mother is an actress from the old Hollywood days, and she's Marion Ross of Happy Days, and so she grew up in the studio system. I did not. I grew up in like the tail end of the studio system. Or the back alley of the studio system, and but I've seen it change tremendously, and it's weird how it's going. I mean, here we are, we're shooting a series here in this lovely old bar here by the railroad track, and anybody can do that because the technology's up to it, and anybody that can get 6 or 7 friends together can do that. But it's still going to be, what do you have to offer, and are people going to watch it because it makes them feel better? I assume. Yeah. I guess that's why you're doing it.
Well, I definitely love doing this show because it's to help inspire people to go out and follow their creative, goals, whatever they are. So.
Oh yeah, that's a good purpose.
Thank you.
Yeah, I try to do that too.
Yeah.
Try to go pursue your creative goals. Get out of here. Get out of my area, because I'm pursuing my creative goals here, and frankly, you're taking up my oxygen. So yeah, so I'm an impressionist too. That's the other thing that I've been sort of trying to grapple with, and what this show is about, as you saw on the Impression Guys, is trying to grapple with the fact that I am an impressionist. I do pretty good impressions, and yet that's not my dream.
Yeah.
It really isn't my dream. I want to be an actor. I want to affect people positively. But what I get the most attention for, and my character, and Jim Marshall gets the most attention for, is for, sounding like Morgan Freeman or George Clooney or, Woody Allen or whoever it happens to be. That sort of thing, I think, bewitches people a little bit, and it's a little sparky thing that attracts attention.
George W. Bush as well. Played George W. Bush quite often on the video. Which one of these do I look at? How you doing? How are you? My IQ just went through the floor. We'll find it later.
It's fun. Anyway.
How did you start doing impressions?
As a kid, you play around with your voice. I was a cartoonist. I was looking for some relief from school. School was a tyranny to me,
Yeah.
Math and geography. I should have worked a little harder on geography. That's actually useful, but I didn't know how useful it would be, But so I was looking for some relief, as a lot of kids do, and some kids pick up a guitar, some kids pick up a football or a hockey stick. I picked up pencils, and then the drawing. I was really interested in cartooning, so I read Mad Magazine, and I would try to draw like Mort Drucker, the great cartoonist. And I find that when you draw a character, you sort of become that character. And my mother and other people would comment, you're making the face of the guy you're drawing. And I realized I'm doing that. I'm kind of like, you have to kind of, you don't even notice you're doing it, but you're sort of being that thing. And then I would watch a TV show, and I would kind of be that character that I really liked a lot. And then, so after a while, I would be the Cowardly Lion. If I are king of the forest. Whatever, and so that was a game for me and something that I like to play. So, and then I don't know, I did it just as a fun thing because I get bored with things, and so that's how I pursued things. And also, I would see actors or performers that I really admired. I went to the set of Happy Days quite a lot when I was a teenager, because my mom was in the show. It was a big hit show. It was very exciting. I'd drive down to Paramount and watch the Fonz. Everybody was nuts for the Fonz back then. I met Henry when he was an old man at 22. And so, you start to act like the Fonz, or Ron Howard, start to act like Ron, this kind of thing. And when you see these people and you enjoy the way they are, and you enjoy their personalities, and it's just, the next step is like, well, I'd like to share that with my friend. So I will tell him the story about how I met Ron Howard, and I'll talk like this a little bit, just sort of, sell it a little bit more.
Wow. So you're starting out just kind of playing, just kind of messing around, doing these things.
Just a little kid.
And then what was like the first time that you started getting making it into a business or getting paid for it, I guess?
Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, thanks. I was nervous about it. I was embarrassed about it, and so I probably could have started about 10 years before I did. But I was very protective of it because I was afraid somebody was going to shoot it down. Like I'd do an impression and people go, "That sounds stupid. It doesn't sound like him at all." So somebody must have said that to me about something, but I don't recall. But I was very tender about it. So when people would say, "Hey, do your, Jack Nicholson or whatever," I'd go, "Nah," which is not a Jack Nicholson impression. That's a Joe Cocker impression. So I got untender about it when I was in my 20s, and I started really studying improv in New York with a really terrific school there that doesn't exist anymore. But at that point, in a non-judgmental, kind of fun and free, creative environment, I felt very, very willing to, do impressions because it helped the scene and it helped the other actors. If they come up to you and said, "President Reagan, thank God you're here," you know, because our speaker canceled. And I said, well, I'm glad I made it too. The limousine had to stop several times for me to tinkle or whatever, you know. But at that point, I was like, okay, I felt very free about it. And then once I got up in front of audiences, the audiences were also very non-threatening. Nobody heckled us, you know. We had a good time. So then I was like, all right, I guess I can, you know. And then I began to say, well, I can do a lot of voices actually. And then I became, you know, a useful part of the team. So that made it a good thing for me.
That's so cool. When I was in school too, I used to, like, obviously, I think a lot of people try and do impressions actually. Like, you know, when you're kids and stuff, like, you try
very
to,
natural.
Yeah, you start to imitate other people.
Did you do some impressions?
I did.
What did you like to do?
Well, I think, let's see, I would do like these really high-pitched sort of cartoony voices, and, like, you know, or
any we could hear now, or are they so high we wouldn't be able to hear them?
Okay, there was like, all right, I'll try one.
All right.
You're so, oh my God.
Yeah, see, you're
All right,
tender about
here
it.
we go.
Just go ahead, it's fine. This is your show, by the way.
I can do an impression of a little crazy girl. That's fantastic. That's beautiful. I think it's great. We'll do the rest of the interview just like this. We should talk like this the whole time. People would love that. I like it.
It's nice. It clears your sinuses out, too. That's very nice. You know, there's a lot of women that make a fortune doing that kind of voice. So
I think that people like women with their really high voices, right? So if I just talk like that all the time, it would probably be better.
Yeah, it'd probably be better. You get more Twitter followers.
I should try and copy you. How about we should do that?
Sure.
I'm gonna try it.
Fujifilm.
I show Fujifilm.
Fujifilm.
Yeah, I really like the Fujifilm.
Ah.
What else you got for me? I can't do Marlon Brando.
I can't do Marlon. What he's talking about? Come on, a girl like you could do Marlon Brando in a second. Why don't you just put your back into it? Why not? There you go. You almost had it. You almost did it. I saw it. There was a glint in your eye.
I can't do it. I can't do it. What else?
Stick your bottom lip out more. That's it. Yeah. And then just kind of close off one nostril. Just speak like that. That's tiny lips.
What's wrong with it? I don't know.
That's good.
Yeah?
That's good.
Oh, Marlon Brando.
Marla Brando.
Oh, Marlon Brando.
Very good. That's how it's done. There it is.
Amazing.
Secret revealed.
I just got like taught how to do something.
She got schooled is what happened. She got schooled. Just right then. That's right. That's okay. Man, everybody got to learn from the bottom up. Everybody.
Okay, well, I'm sitting with like the master impressionist. You're amazing.
I'm a gifted amateur. I like it, and I've been called the world's greatest impressionist, which is probably true, but I really can't call myself that.
Well, I can.
Thank you.
I can definitely call you that.
It's close.
He's amazing, amazing. If you guys haven't seen any of his stuff, you've got to go check out this show. I mean, even in the show, The Impression Guys, he's constantly doing impressions throughout the show. But it's not just you; it's also Ross
Marquand, Piotr Michael, Dana
That's right.
De Lorenzo. And in our later episodes, we're using some of the best impressionists on the interweb, Brock Baker and Angela Hoover, and a bunch of others whose names I can't remember right now. But just we're chock-a-block.
There's so many.
Full of people. Yeah, and there's a lot. And what's nice is too is that Ben Shelton, our writer-director, he sort of conceived that we had in the story we have a kind of a, you know, almost a community of impressionists. And the conceit is that we all get together and that we sort
you
of
all hang out together.
hang out and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Which isn't really true, at least in my group. But as a result of the show, we kind of do, and so it is nice. And I've met a lot of really lovely people, and they're all just really charitable and friendly and nice people. It's fun. They're not like a cutthroat bunch of, oh yeah,
So your John Wayne's okay, but mine's like pretty intense. So maybe you gotta do it. No.
and they're all nice, forgiving people.
Well, it definitely seems that way from just from the show. I mean, the whole vibe of the show is really, really cool. I really love it.
Thank you. I hope your viewers can find it. As I say, very difficult. It'll take some of your smarter viewers, some of the more intelligent and perceptive. Not all of them will find it, but the ones that do are going to be forces to reckon with. Look forward to hearing about it.
What would you say was probably the most hilarious scene for you guys to shoot?
Well,
Like where you couldn't stop laughing,
Yeah.
like on set, having trouble.
we did a scene with Matt Jones from Breaking Bad.
Oh yeah.
And we were doing a movie within a movie. In other words, the conceit is that Ross and my character are trying to get a job. We get a job in a real, legit, gritty indie film, and Matt Jones is in it. And so we do this, a section of that film, and then that's supposed to be the by take, and it's about, drug dealers, and I'm playing this heavy guy, and we're gonna beat him up and stuff like that. And the dialogue was just right out of these 70s cop movies, and it was pretty corny, but it was supposed to be intense and real. And I'm watching the other actors, and they can't get through it. They keep corpsing, and laughing, and I'm like, come on, guys, let's go, let's do this. And we're in the wide shot. I'm like, we've blown like 6 or 7 takes. I'm like, all right, is it because I'm the oldest guy here? I don't know. I don't find the humor in this. And then we got their take, and then we turn it around, and now it's my angle, and we do the thing, and I'm like, all right, I get it. This is funny. It's corny, funny. I couldn't keep it together. So that was a pretty good episode. You should show that scene.
Yeah,
That's
let's show a
scene.
clip of that scene right here.
So go ahead. Kill me.
And we cut on that. Fantastic, Matt. Good job. Thanks, man. That's great. It's good stuff. So we'll take 20 minutes, light it, and we'll shoot.
Awesome.
Cool.
Matt, show him do the Russell Crowe.
Whoa.
Do the Crow impression. Show him.
Russell Crowe?
Yeah. It's from Gladiator. I can't do the Australian thing. Okay. My name is Marcus Decimus Meridius, commander of the armies of the North, general of the Felix Legions, and loyal servant to the true emperor, Marcus Aurelius, father to a murdered son, husband to a murdered wife. And I will have my vengeance in this life and the next.
The best.
It's like his hand. That's amazing.
literally-
I'm with the guy.
I mean, is that not? That's him. That's Russell Crowe.
Very good.
Strength and honor.
Seriously, mate, you should do impressions, man. I mean, those guys have it easy.
I know, it's not that hard though.
So easy, right? But no, he can't. Nobody can do Crow like Matt.
Funny stuff. Good stuff.
What about the part where you tell the guy that he sucks, basically?
Right. Yeah. I think I've talked to a lot of impressionists and actors who say, I've wanted to do that, and I myself have sat while someone else is praised for their impression, whether it's good or bad, and you're just kind of like, okay, that's one of my specialties too. But we'll just ride this out. Just ride it out, because that's the kind of world we live in. Lots of people can do lots of things, and the spotlight gets put on some person. They say, "Oh my God, look at that beautiful blonde over there. What a beautiful kind of incredible retro outfit she's wearing. Have you seen her? Wow." And you're like, okay, this will end eventually, and then I'll be able to live again. Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, get feisty and tear her hair. Not okay.
That's what those big nails are for, right? In the old days. But so a lot of people told me that they felt that, and we just exaggerated to the point where, and it was fun for me to.
So funny.
To just release the stupidity of trying to correct a person like that, which is unprofitable.
Thank you, Russell Crowe.
At my signal, unleash hell.
It's perfect. It's literally the voice. It's
so
just
good.
right on.
How many other impressions do you do?
I do a bunch. I can do everybody from Breaking Bad. Yeah, but Russell Crowe is definitely my one.
Yeah,
Well, he's the best.
Yeah. My name is Maximus Decimus Meridius, commander of the Northern
I'm sorry.
My name is Maximus Decimus Meridius, commander of the Northern Armies, general of the Felix Legions, loyal servant to the true emperor, Marcus Aurelius, father of a murdered son, husband of a murdered wife, and I will have my vengeance in this life or the next.
You see, it's not a one-dimensional thing. Okay, there's a real performance there that you're paying tribute to. You're trying to, give it a tribute or an homage or trimage. You're trying to do that, but you're not. You just memorize the lines. Excuse me, it's okay. I got it. It's like I'm smoking dope, watching TV. Of course, it's going to be imprinted in your mind, but that doesn't make it a performance. We got to give at least some kind of credit to Russell Crowe. But I think we're all thinking the same thing. It's not an impression. Jim. It's more of a fan impression. No, I got this, Russ. I got this. What you're doing, it's fine. It's just on one level. That's right. You got to bring it up. Right?
I know that you've also had the success with your other comedy stuff like JibJab, so let's talk about that too.
Oh, well, yes. So I met 2 guys from New Jersey that were very creative guys. This is like 10 years ago, maybe longer. And they had a little company called JibJab, and they were doing these animated things. And they said, hey, you know, we're going to do this thing for the 2004 election with Bush and Kerry, and can you do impressions of Bush and Kerry? I said, Bush, absolutely. Kerry, I think so, you know. And so they created this thing called This Land, went into a recording booth and recorded it, and I did the singing voices of George Bush and John Kerry and Bill Clinton and Schwarzenegger and another couple of characters. And they went, okay, bye, you know. And they went off and did it, and then they put it on the web, and then it just exploded. And they wrote me an email saying, hey, dude, you know, our servers are crashed. And it's 80 million views later. This animated film just went nuts.
80 million?
Yeah.
That's
and that
amazing.
was the start of really them getting a lot of traction as a company. And now every year we do, you know, at least one project together. But, I mean, they're on their own. They've got their own aesthetic and their own kind of deal. But they're very creative, and I love them. Evan and Greg Spiridelis. If you're out there, guys, very, very happy with our friendship. And they're just beautiful, beautiful guys. And it's a very creative atmosphere they've created. They hire a lot of artists. They do a lot of wacky stuff. And it's been super fun.
That's awesome. That's amazing. I mean,
JibJab.com. That's the place to find them.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I really wanted to put a deck on my house.
The floor was creaking and there were cracks in the wall.
I had them put in walls in my basement.
Well, the whole thing was done on time, on budget, and not a day of work was missed.
Alpha Structural is a top-rate company. I'd recommend them to anybody.
If you live in a hillside home and gravity is pulling you towards the edge of the cliff, I recommend you call Alpha.
It was a real pleasure to work with Alpha.
And we're back with Jim Meskimen. So I just have to say that your IMDb credits are quite extensive.
Yes.
I don't think people realize how many films and projects you have been involved in, actually.
Well, in all fairness, you know, I do have a lot of credits. I'm not like in the whole thing for 2 hours. You know, often I come in and say, "Oh, the sheriff's in town," you know, or something like that. But yeah, I've had the good fortune of being a guest star in many, many shows and little bits, parts in movies, and a lot of video games now.
Video games?
Yeah, a lot of
doing
video
voices
games.
Or doing?
No, just changing the channel of the video. Yeah, voices. I play characters. Yeah, yeah. You know, you've got the big guy, the big soldier, comes up, he's got the huge gun, and he says, you know, "This is between you and me, Rocco." That wouldn't be me, but I would be the guy that would go, you know, and someone you'd see, be that guy, roles like that.
Wow.
But, you know, and I'm in the, you know, various Batman products and playing cops and things like that. You know, I'm a journeyman actor. This is how actors make their living these days. You know, I do all kinds of things. I do occasionally do ADR, you know about ADR.
Yes.
So I do that. I do commercials. I do whatever you can do. And there are a billion little funny little markets. I do trailers and things leading up to trailers. And this is what we look at in our show, The Impression Guys. It's like if you can do voices, then you can wind up doing a lot of very peculiar kind of jobs. A lot of them from my home. I have a booth at home, you know, and going in and doing, you know, somebody, Robert De Niro's voice for a trailer, because they're not going to call Robert De Niro to do this little thing on a trailer that'll piss him off. So don't call him, you know, pay a guy out in Tarzana to do it because I'm not going to come in, that kind of thing.
I know, I saw in the show, that was really funny to me that basically, like, you guys got hired to do like sort of their dirty work for like the celebrities.
That's right, celebrity
like,
dirty work.
call the ex-wife of so and so, like pretend you're him, and
you know, we stretch the truth there. Although
I know,
who knows?
I know.
Who knows what's going on? You know, who knows if every time you hear a celebrity on the radio, is it really them? I'm not sure. And pretty soon, I'm sure, in about 10 minutes, there's going to be an app that will do any celebrity voice. All you have to do is talk into it, you know, and you'll have Marlon Brando or whatever.
Yeah, so one of the characters is basically being Justin Timberlake all the time.
That's right. He's hired to be the stand-in Justin Timberlake for all radio commercials. That's Ross Marquand, who does a wonderful Justin Timberlake impression.
He's amazing.
And then in season 2, he gets an understudy. That's all I'll say about that. That's all I'm gonna say
season
about
2
that.
hasn't come out yet.
Hasn't come out yet. On the verge.
right.
Yeah, beautiful stuff. Yeah, we've got some wonderful guest stars in season 2, and as I say, hard to find. So seek it out. Be stealthy. Find it. You know. Be a hunter-gatherer, yeah. Look under every rock, yeah. Sniff it out, yeah.
The Impression Guys. That's right.
That's the name of the show.
That's right.
Yeah.
Check it out.
Yeah, exactly. So.
What was your favorite? Not other than your own show. What was your favorite movie that you have been in?
Oh, that I've been in.
Mm-hmm.
I would have to say it's really either The Grinch, which was a really great experience, or Apollo 13, 2 Ron Howard films. Both interesting and rewarding for different reasons. The Grinch, because it was just such an artistic explosion. Every costume, every set, every face, every hair, hat, teeth, everything was designed and was very creative. And I mean, you just couldn't be bored. Most movie sets, you can be pretty bored. But The Grinch, you just couldn't, because you just look around and go, oh, look at that building. That is really off kilter. Look at all that stuff, all the props they put in that store. What is in this can of, everything was amazing. And Apollo 13 is just a great movie, and I learned a lot. We all had to kind of learn about the space program and all the adventures of the Apollo program, and learn how to pretend to use these things on the console. Yes, tell me, yes, environmental electrical systems engineer. Yep, figure out all that stuff. So that was cool and interesting, and we knew we were part of a big movie that was going to be very impactful.
That was huge.
So that was pretty cool. And both of them are fun movies. Apollo 13, I can't not watch it if you're flipping around. You got to watch a little bit of Apollo 13. Just check it out. I'm just going to watch it to the part where Gene Kranz gets his white vest, and then I'll go watch something else. But
how did you first start getting into these? When did you first get an agent and start getting put into films like that?
Well, I lived in New York, and I got started as a young actor in New York, and got an agent pretty fast. And you just kind of kick around and try for things, and I read for Ron Howard, and I knew Ron Howard, which was helpful, but I didn't think he was going to hire me necessarily just because we knew each other, because he knows a lot of people.
Right.
So I auditioned for him, and afterwards I thought, I kind of blew it. I think I kind of blew it. He asked me to do this, this, and this, and thinking back on it, I don't think I did any of those things. And then I got a call that I got hired. So I was like, oh, well, never mind about that. That's fine. Sometimes it's true that sometimes you get asked to do something for an audition. I'm sure you've had this experience. And you either forget about it, or you flub it, or...
Yes.
Or they hire you anyway, anyway, the good luck can happen.
Definitely, you are an extremely, extremely talented impressionist and actor.
You're very kind, thank you.
Jim, thanks so much for coming on the show.
My pleasure, thanks for having me, it's a pleasure.
Thanks for watching Jim Meskimen on...
The red, what is it, a sofa, a divan, what the hell are we sitting on? Anyway, it's furniture.